Hi everyone, I'm Jerome, and I think it's time we have a sit and have a real talk for a little bit. I'm making this video uh, because we recently launched episode Prelude on the Nintendo Switch, which has been very exciting. And for everyone that supported the game, that's picked it up, that's been playing it, that's talked about the game, I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much. That really means absolutely everything to me. Um, we've had a really great and crazy ride. Things have been such an incredible challenge um, since day one. I'm a solo developer, and I've worked with software that has brought in a lot of extra challenges, especially on the 3DS hardware. But hey, we made it to the Nintendo Switch, which is very exciting. And we got episode Prelude out. And again, we still faced a lot of extra challenges, but you know what? We persevered. We got it through. We got episode Prelude launched, and I'm very excited for that. But I'm making this video to open up and to let you guys know that the game, unfortunately, we haven't really sold much more than a handful of units. The amount of units that have sold so far, um, it's not enough to pay my bills. You know, living expenses, food. Um, I don't have an extravagant lifestyle. I'm quite a normal guy. I don't drive a big fancy car. I don't go out. I don't party. In general, I stay home and I usually work around 120 hours a week. Once a week, I go out with my archery club, and then if I don't do that, some days I'll go out hiking, and then that's where I'll try to do a video because it's more interesting to look at interesting scenery while we check in. So, in general, I've dedicated my entire life, especially the last 3 years, to developing Silver Falls. And for everyone around the world that has messaged, and they let me know that they enjoy the series and they enjoy the games, thank you guys so much. I'm making this game series specifically for you, and I'm really appreciative that you enjoy the game. Unfortunately, um, I haven't been able to do a good enough job um, marketing the game and spreading awareness. The reason why we haven't sold many copies of episode Prelude comes down to the lack of um, exposure. We haven't been able to get major mainstream news websites and major content creators to show any interest in episode Prelude. So when the game launched, I wrote up press releases and I've sent them out. I've put in a lot of time in contacting different game websites, game review sites, content creators, especially content creators that focus specifically on horror games. And in order for a game to be successful, it needs to sell. And in order for a game to sell, people need to know about it. So the very least that game news websites can do is at least acknowledge the press release and at least mention the game in their news feed and say, hey, this game launched on the Nintendo Switch and it's a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Um, Unfortunately, uh, not a single website seems to have responded to that. Um, so we've got no uh, mainstream major news sites even mentioning the game. So unfortunately, it's just slipped under the radar, and there isn't really anything else I can do um, from my side of things without just being obnoxious and nagging. So I can't really do anything more. In terms of content creators, hey, maybe they saw the press release, the press kit, and they thought, I'm just not interested in that, which is unfortunate. But again, that entirely falls down to me. I'm not blaming what news websites or review sites. I'm not blaming content creators. It comes down to me. Obviously, I wasn't able to showcase the game to those people in a way that would make the game interesting to them. As a result, that means that we've only moved a handful of copies of the game. It's not going to pay my bills, and it doesn't look like it's going to support the studio or Silver Falls games moving forward, which it's hugely disappointing. And I'll open up to you guys a bit, and I'll be a bit honest here. And I found it very frustrating that all these websites and all these content creators, especially ones that I had contacted personally with press kits, and I asked them even on a personal level, hey, I think you'd be interested in this game. All of these places went crazy for a calculator app that cost $10, something that would have taken a couple hours to make, that it's not a product of um, passion or creativity. It's a very simple calculator app. And all these content creators went crazy over it, talking about it. Um, Yet, I couldn't seem to get any major content creators interested in even mentioning um, Silver Falls. So, hey, and I'm not blaming them. I'm not bitter. That just comes down to me not being able to do a good enough job on that end. And for anyone that has mentioned my game, for anyone that has done videos and covered it and reviewed it, I'm so grateful to you guys. Thank you so much. It really means everything, and I'm so appreciative of that. But unfortunately, without the support of large mainstream news sites, even letting people know that the game has launched, the wider user base of the Nintendo Switch will never know the game is even out. So that, unfortunately, is just how things turn out. Now we have 3 weeks left. I believe there's 3 weeks left in this sort of pay period for um, episode Prelude to hopefully start picking up sales. I'm doing absolutely everything in my power to make this work. I want to make this game for the people that have messaged me and said, you know what, I really enjoy the story, I enjoy the characters, I enjoy the lore, I had a laugh, I really enjoy these gameplay elements, and I want to make this game series for you guys. I want to be able to make this game for years and years, and I have a plan. I've got a roadmap, and I have a number of games lined up. I have a number of games that are around even 30 to 50% completed, and I'm sort of planning out and strategizing what would be best to work on at this particular time, and should I reorder things um, in a way that's a bit more interesting for people. So, unfortunately, if episode Prelude does not pick up sales, I will have to cancel those games, because when I complete another Silver Falls game, and when I contact content creators, and when I contact um, the gaming news websites, my press releases are going to look very much the same as this game in terms of theme and tonality, um, and the content of the game. Because Silver Falls is a series, there is consistency, and that means that if those sites and content creators won't respond to episode Prelude, it means they're just not interested in it. And unfortunately, that means that they won't respond to anything that I send in the future, which is hugely problematic if you're trying to raise awareness for your game. If news websites, if their job is to let people know that a game has launched, if they don't even mention the game on their websites, then that's a problem. It means no one's going to find out about the game. It's not going to sell. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. You're going to spend your entire life being disappointed and let down by things around you, but that's just how life is. You've got to roll with the punches, and you've got to find a way to move forward. So to everyone who has supported me, I'm so thankful for all of you. Thank you for messaging and even talking about your favorite horror games beyond just Silver Falls. I've enjoyed chatting with all of you. We've really had a great time, I think, just sort of talking about games in general. I've really enjoyed bringing games to you. And there are nights, and I'll open up and be honest, there were nights working on development where I'd be up till 2 or 3, and I was absolutely miserable. I've destroyed my personal health working on 3 Down Stars. It didn't sell quite what it needed to, so I thought, alright, move forward. Next game. Episode Prelude. This is the game where I can get it to look good. I can get it on new hardware. And I absolutely destroyed my health, and I would guess that people who have been watching these videos for a while have noticed my deteriorating health just getting worse and worse as time goes on, because I've absolutely destroyed myself creating something with literally absolutely all of my ability, all of my skill, all of my energy, and unfortunately it hasn't paid off. Um, and that's unfortunate, but that's life. And hey, I think with a bit of work, and if we work together, maybe we could turn this around within the next 3 weeks. Um, because the only thing that can save the Silver Falls series now at this point is to get news sites talking about this game and to get content creators playing the game and saying, hey, you guys, if you like this kind of game, you might be interested in it. And you guys can actually help. You guys can, contact news websites and say, hey, what's the deal? Why aren't you guys, covering this? Hey, maybe you guys should take a look at Silver Falls on the Switch. Contact content creators and say, hey, take a look at this game. You might like it. Um, and that would really be the only way to move forward with that. If things don't pick up within the next 3 weeks, it means that I'll just have to retire the series, because there's no way I can get news websites and content creators to even acknowledge that the game exists. Um, and on my own, I absolutely cannot do this on my own. I cannot uh, market the game and raise awareness and to let the Nintendo Switch audience know that the game exists. It's not something that's within my power. I cannot do that alone. For everyone that is supporting the game, if you guys want to help, if you want to help keep the series moving forward, if you want to save the series from having to be just canceled, what you can do is just ask your favorite content creators to take a look at the game and say, hey, you might like this. Ask news sites, go on forums, and let other gamers know about it. But without, content creators and news sites mentioning the game, that's going to be the end of it. And hey, if this is the end of the line, I'm so grateful that I got to meet a lot of incredible people from all around the world. We got to chat, we got to talk about games, and I got to share something with all of you. Um, and if this is the last Silver Falls game that I get to share with you guys, that's a bummer, but all good things come to an end. So hopefully we can turn this around. Hopefully we can save the series from having to be canceled. But if it is the end of the line, we had a wild ride, and I'm so glad that I got to share this ride with all of you. So thanks very much. Hey, hopefully this isn't the last time we see each other, but thanks. Hopefully we can see you guys around again.